everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Student World Prime Choices. Today, to explore Italy, one of the most beautiful countries in the world. We're very excited because we're bringing today three very, very good universities from Italy. And we're hoping that we can present all of them to you and let you decide which one you like the best. When it comes to study abroad, guys, we always say here at the Student World that there is no such thing as one institution fits all. Yes, that's true. It really depends what your interests are, your preferences. So it's almost like a wedding or something like that, a marriage, right? It really is a matching process. So the goal here for today is we're going to present three universities to you. First one is Universita Cattolica del Sacro Cuore, with campus in over 5 cities. It's the largest private university in Europe, if I'm not mistaken. But also joining us today here, we have Politecnico di Milano, also a very good university. I have here my ranked one of the top 10 in Italy. And last but not least, we have University of Padova, also ranked among the top 10 best in Italy, according to the higher education ranking. All right, everyone, we have already 60 people joining us here today. And, usually I ask people where they are watching us from. But since we're talking about Italy, I'm going to give you a different question. What is the weirdest thing you put on your pizza? Maybe that's a good question for us to start here today. All right. Many of you saw on the email that we sent out to you guys inviting for this live that we asked, do you put pineapple on your pizza or ketchup? I know for a fact that some of our guests backstage might be having a little heart attack with the idea of some of us putting ketchup or pineapple like the Americans on our pizza. But so go ahead and share what's the weirdest thing you put on your pizza. Which toppings do you put on your pizza? Already 60 people joining us here today. Very happy. Always, we have a very diverse audience. And what I'm starting to get familiar with, some of you that are constantly joining us, I see here, Rocio from Argentina. We have Jawid. We have Maha, who was also here yesterday. Maha, welcome back. And Kushara. Kushara has joined us before. Yeah, over 60 people joining us on YouTube and Facebook. Guys, again, the idea of this is for the next hour to present to you these three amazing universities. And what I always ask is send your questions, send your comments. Let me be your voice for the next hour. All right. And don't worry about, telling your story, telling your situation. What are the program that you're looking for to study? What is your situation right now? How is your plan going to study abroad? Everything, tell us, and we will do our best to help you out. Alrighty? Jawish, cool. Are there answers to our questions? Yes, Jawish, you can send your questions here to the chat, and I'm gonna address them to our guests. All right, guys. Oh, Cherry from Jamaica. We have Mickey from Mexico City. Abby from Panama as well. I love how diverse our audience is. All right, let me see if I'm forgetting anything else. Yeah, don't forget also, guys, to subscribe to see more of our videos. Every week we're back here live on Tuesdays we have the Spotlight. On Wednesdays we have the Prime Choices. Always bringing more and more options for you to study abroad. Alrighty, so don't forget to hit your subscribe. We're very happy because we just hit the 12,000 subscribers here with us, all done organically, which is nice. But we're hoping we can get to the 15, and the more the better, right? Natalia joining us from Brazil. We have Direna from Kosovo, really nice. And already coming up, Shem asking, is there if we're going to talk about master programs? Yes, we will. And what else? Also, guys, put it here on the chat. which universities would you like to see on the next episodes of this prime choices, or which topics would you like us to explore? It can be like best places to study your MBA, or stop study in I don't know, just like we're doing here in Italy. It could be any other country. So please feel free to put your suggestions there. Everything we do here at the Student World, we do it for you. So yeah, make sure that you can use this in your favor. Alrighty. So without further ado, last thing, don't forget to give us a like, thumbs up if you like what you're watching, thumbs down if you don't, that's okay. Any kind of, feedback you give us is much appreciated. All right, everyone. We have Felicia joining us from Nigeria as well. Very well, guys. My hair, I look like I just woke up, but I did not. This is what happens when you work from home. Not every day you can look very good, but okay. Let's keep going. So what I'm gonna do now, guys, is I'm gonna start inviting to the stage here our three amazing universities. Let's start with Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore, as I mentioned before, the largest private university in Europe, with campus in Milan, Brescia, Cremona, Piacenza, and Roma. Please welcome to the stage our dear friend Aisha.
Well, hello everyone. And ciao, I should say. And considering the different time zones, I'd say good morning, good evening, and good afternoon.
Yep, that's quite safe. I always do that as well.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, because we have people joining us from all the way from Latin America to Asia. So it's really, I think you got a good sense of that. Like for example, we just have another person joining us from Kenya. So lots of people. But Aisha, very happy to have you here representing Universita Cattolica, this amazing university. First thing I want to ask you is, well, if you can introduce yourself and then tell us, to everybody, all those, we're already 74 people, who is Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore?
All right. Well, since in Italy we use ciao for both beginning and ending conversations, I think that's a great way to start. My name's Aisha Pathak. I am a senior international recruitment officer at Cattolica and have been for the past 10 years. And I've had the pleasure in the meantime to travel to a lot of the countries where some of you are connecting us from. So a special pleasure to virtually connect with you. And it gives me really a lot of joy to be doing this despite it's virtual. So hopefully my aim today is to give you a very honest and hopefully eye-opening vision on what is usually a tourist country, Italy, but obviously we want to talk about this under a higher education perspective. So that's going to be my aim. Carlos, you were 100% right. I saw you were a little unsure when you were saying it was the largest private university in Europe, but spot on, it is. And we do have different campuses, each teaching subjects that are related to the territory, which is a huge help when it comes to internships and field visits and whatnot. We've been recruiting students from all over for the past 10 years, so we have a big diversity. So yes, it's an Italian university and you will get the Italian experience, but obviously it's also important to say that we've got about over 150 nationalities. We teach, a lot of students are asking medium of instruction. We teach over 36 English top programs, as well, of course, Italian top programs. And I'll be happy to talk about in the right moment of rankings and programs and sort of our unique selling points on the national scenario.
Yay, we're going to get there. Now we just reached 80 people. Very happy. It seems Italy is very popular. But you know what? The best way, Aisha, to get to know the university is to watch a video. So why don't we hit the play and take a look at the beautiful Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. Beautiful campus. By the way, I've been there once. Really
Really?
nice, I have to say, yeah, but I'll tell more later. But now, Aisha, let's bring our second guest here to the stage. Known nicely by Polimi, it's Politecnico di Milano, ranked the number 10 in Italy. Politecnico offers programs in engineering, architecture, and design, and has an excellent reputation among employers. So please, guys, welcome to the stage our dear friend here, Camilla, as well. Hi, Camilla. Welcome. Oops. Oh, sorry. I saw the right. Oh my God, I did. So sorry, Marina. I switched names. But yes, welcome to the stage, Marina. How are you
Never
doing
mind.
today?
I'm slightly younger. So the problem is that Camilla probably, but anyway. So pleased to be today, guys. I am Marina Carbonchi, an recruitment officer at Politecnico di Milano. I have been working at Politecnico over the past 18 years, and I'm still not, still happy to be here because it's such a fantastic institution, and it's so nice to be close to young people, and especially to meet so different cultures and the hopes and the dreams of people who want to find their way. And I'm here simply to help you discover what is the right way for you, Politecnico di Milano is a historical university. It was founded 2 years after Italy was unified to a single state, and it was founded by the Italian state as a joint venture with companies to train excellent professionals who would then make a fundamental contribution to the economic development of the country. And so it is still today. It's a fundamental institution training the best engineers, architects, and designers who actually have a huge impact on society. And so one pillar is top quality education. The other one is actually research. Politecnico di Milano is the Italian institution that is able to attract funds from the European Union for research purposes, but also for corporate research. As a consequence, we have 150 excellent laboratories for research in the field of engineering, but we also have wonderful modeling labs for architecture or design, for instance. Very important to know that we are so average, because this is also a guarantee for quality of education. Our professors will be up, and of course that there is the expertise and the know-how also to learn how to carry out research. But there is also a third important pillar at Politecnico, and this is the so-called third mission. State university. So our aim is money are here to have an impact on society by offering culture also to the public, not only to our students, and also to have a social impact by promoting a sustainable development, by promoting the development of less privileged areas, for instance, both urban areas in Italy, but also in developing countries. So we have a huge reality towards the current and the future population. So we want to make and we want you to join us to shape the future we all dream of. I think that the next video will give a small idea of the research that we carry out. We are currently running a webinar series on research, have a huge on the society of the future. So I think video will give you an idea of life at Polimi, student as well.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Hope you enjoy it.
Thanks, Marina. Let's take a look now at the video we prepare for you. about Politecnico di Milano.
Are you curious about the future of mobility? Are you concerned about pollution? Are you aware that human activities in space are causing debris in Earth orbit? Are you interested in knowing more about big data and their economic, social, and cultural applications? Are you wondering how smart cities could make the economy, mobility, the environment, and living smart? Our world is facing great challenges. The COVID-19 crisis has reinforced our belief in sustainability and highlighted the interconnected nature of the world's social and economic systems. Nobody can deal with these issues alone. We must overcome critical barriers and set out on a pathway for change, together. At Politecnico di Milano, we know that the future is in our hands. We are using our best resources, our cutting-edge technologies, our top expertise, as well as we are putting at service determination and passion to create the future we dream of. We feel the urgency to open a wide dialogue on these global and interdisciplinary topics. This webinar series brings together our faculty, researchers, and alumni for a variety of virtual events during the year. Join us and be part of the change.
Nice. All right, and we have more people joining us here. Beatrice from Ghana and Peter from Vietnam. Guys, it must be a bit late for you there. So really appreciate you're still joining us here. But yeah, so now last but not least, the University of Padova, ranked number 5th in Italy. Now let's bring to the stage Camilla, this time Camilla.
Hello.
Hi, Camilla.
So I'm finally here. I'm very, very happy. I'm very happy to be here today and to see so many students connecting from all over the world. So thank you again for this opportunity. My name is Camilla. I work for the Global Engagement Office at the University of Padua. So I'm the only one outside Milan today. Padua may even be a little more difficult for some students to actually place on the map. We are definitely smaller, but I can guarantee you we are equally beautiful. And actually, I've lived both in Padua and in Milan, and there are advantages to both. And what I love about Padua is the quality of life. It's definitely a student-centered town. 1/3 of the population of Padua is made of students, and at the University of Padua, we have an ever-growing international student community as well. So it's quite difficult for me to sum up 800 years of history. The university is one of the oldest universities in Italy and in Europe. We cover almost every branch of studies in our 8 schools and 32 departments. What I can tell you is that we definitely apply a multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary approach. There is a strong tendency towards innovation, so history on one side, innovation on the other, and a very innovative part of our academic offering is the fact of introducing every year more programs taught in English. We now have 45 programs entirely taught in English and more than 150 taught in Italian, which makes it quite difficult for me to sum everything today. But of course, I'd be happy to answer to your question and to give you many more information later on during the chat after we had a look at our video.
Yeah, absolutely. So really happy here. I see already a question coming from Lori. Lori Cha says she loves this live. Thank you, Lori. Guys, so we have barely 40 minutes. So the idea here is I'm going to bring some topics, right? And I'm going to pass it on to each of you because what we want here is to show like really what's the difference between each of you guys, right? What makes your university unique? And with this way, we let the audience, like each one of them will decide, which one best fit with their, with their plans. So yeah, but before we do that, quick reminder, let's take a look at the video of University of Padova.
Thank you.
Padova University offers a vast selection of courses which are constantly updated. Is one of Italy's leading universities for quality of teaching, providing students with a solid academic background and excellent training. To graduate from the University of Padova is an ambitious and prestigious achievement. Padova is currently ranked 151 of 200 in the academic ranking of world universities. It is top-rated for quality of research, and it is one of the 25% top-ranking universities in the QS World University Ranking, as well as being one of the most highly cited universities in Europe. Over 90% of students are pleased with their academic career and student life, according to Alma Laurea, the graduate survey consortium in Italy. The university is nearly 800 years old and was founded in 1222 by students and lecturers seeking to spread freedom of thought in study and teaching. Padova has a long international tradition. The university participates in leading international networks and research, and teaching projects involve students and lecturers from all over the world. Be part of 8 centuries of history. Build the future.
Nice. All right, then. So as I was saying, guys, we're going to approach different topics here, and I'm going to pass it on to each of you to talk briefly about each of these topics. And while we're doing that, I will also try to accommodate some of the questions that will be popping up. Okay. So the first topic I want to talk about, to explore, is programs and faculties. And here is the idea is to show the students which programs do you guys offer, but also more than that, I want to explore like what is the fields, if you have any, like that you really like specialize in, that you're really strong at. So that's the first topic. And to start with that, I wanted to start with you, Marina, because Politecnico is very specialized in some specific fields, right? Oops, think you muted? No, yeah. Oh, I think we're having a technical issue here. We can't quite hear you. Let me pass on to Camilla. Camilla, we'll get back to Marina in a second. But yeah, so why don't we start like talking a little bit about the programs and faculties offered by University of Padova, and which ones are you really like focus on, or to your strong areas?
Sure. Well, as I mentioned before, actually, we really cover almost every field of studies. And we have a school of agricultural and veterinary sciences, a school of human and cultural heritage, school of economics and political science, school of medicine, and school of engineering, and school of sciences, and so on. So literally, there is a match approach everybody's taste. In terms of rankings, we are definitely our highest ranking are for the School of Medicine, for which we do have a program of medicine and surgery, both held in Italian and one held in English. The School of Psychology is extremely highly ranked as well, and I'm particularly happy because actually we have 2 bachelors held in English from our School of Psychology, and from this year, 3 master's degree program in psychology. So, let's say the well-being, the human well-being as at the center of the research and of the academic work, both in physical and psychological. And but really, every school has its strength. In terms of employability, for instance, business administration has a 91% employability rate. Our program in computer science, the one in cybersecurity, both held in English, have really high employment rates as well. Sometimes students actually delay their graduation because they start working while they're still attending classes. So, again, we should really have a focus on every program and every school, because each of them has its strength. But I'm seeing also that there are some students interested in environmental sciences, and we are definitely quite strong on them as well. We have programs held in English in sustainable agriculture, forest science, and some interdisciplinary program, for instance, earth dynamics, food and health. Again, more and more there's this approach. Different schools are working together to create new professional profile, able also to deal with the new challenges that the world is presenting, and to create competencies and the skills that are needed in today's ever changing world.
Very nice. And just quickly, because we got some questions here. So you mentioned about environmental science that you guys offer, right? Masters. There was also, 2 people asking for that, but there was another one, I believe. So where was it? Management in management in engineering, or engineering management.
Yeah.
Offer that
Actually,
as well.
It's one of the say most established program at the university, and from this academic year we will have the study track in English as well. Management engineering. It's very popular. It has received thousands of applications, literally.
Cool. So Arpit, that's for you, because you were asking that. Regarding the second part of your question, the post-graduation work opportunities, we're going to get to that a bit later. But now I want to still remain in Milano with you, Aisha. Can you tell us a little bit more, give an overview of the programs offered, the faculties of Universita Cattolica, and also, do you have any particular area that you guys are really strong at?
Sure. Well, just to clarify, I'm based in Milan, and I'm guessing most of you, if you were to apply, you would probably land up in Milan, simply because it's the largest campus with the most English top programs. But, just to reiterate, we do have other campuses as well. And my absolute honest advice is, you don't just choose a city on how nice it is. I mean, obviously that's an important aspect, but especially considering the commitment financially, emotionally that you need to put in. Always try to connect the subject that you're interested to the territory where it's taught at. So, for example, related to, let's take one of our biggest faculties. We have 12, okay? So disclaimer, we have 12 faculties. I'm not going to bore you with 12 details, because that's, maybe I can send you, Carlos, to post to everyone the website where you're young and you are well connected socially and on the website. So obviously take your time to explore. But for example, if you want to study business-related programs or economics-related programs, for example, it kind of makes sense to do that in a city that is very strong on the economic aspect, okay, sort of the economic engine of the country. If you want to do, for example, healthcare-related programs, so for example, we have medicine in English, you want to probably aim for a university that has support of a hospital. So if you want to do food-related programs, you want to do that in an area that is particularly prone to agricultural-related investments. So obviously, when you're looking at the map, it goes well beyond that of just choosing a location. But yeah, so we have 12 faculties. They're all ranked within here rankings are being used a lot, so I'll brandish them too. They're a useful parameter. By no means they're an absolute parameter, considering all of us are from an Italian non-English speaking country. So sometimes we're penalized, but sometimes we're not. So we have out of 36 English top programs, and way too many for me to even memorize, of Italian top programs. Out of the 12 faculties, we have 13 schools in the top 200. Some at different positions, some at top 150, some at top 200. My favorite ranking is employability, because whilst studying is important, getting a job after is usually what most of us study for in preparation of. So this also impacts on the program that we're talking about, because whilst you can research a university and we pretty much all have the same program titles, it's just a title. You really need to investigate the curriculum. Like, that's another top tip I give, obviously, right? You need to look at every single university's program. Everyone has something called economics, but you want to see what they actually offer inside the modules, because it can change completely. That's why we do these kind of things. Once you're in there, though, one thing I can assure you of Cattolica is, some subjects can stay the same, as in the subject is something that maybe your parents or grandparents also studied, but the times change. And echoing sort of what Camilla was saying, the university has a commitment to modifying its content of subjects, not just taking the theory part, which is well consolidated, but obviously getting influences of what's happening in the world, trends. So also our programs are taught, for example, by key professionals. And that's really important, because obviously professors get to a certain point academically, but you need real life experience to tell students what the future is of some things. So by all means, I'll send you, the websites, have a look at the programs, but there are 12, and each faculty really stands out for its employability focus, as we've mentioned. And the other key word, again, that's been buzzing around is multidisciplinarity, okay? Because you're coming, especially for a bachelor's, in Europe, we have 3 years, right? Compared to, for example, the States, where you have 4 years, or many other countries have 4 years. In 3 years, where we don't do major and minors, unlike the UK, for example, you've got to squish and become an expert in 3 years, or in the case of medicine, 6 years, in the case of a postgrad program, 1 or 2 years. So if you opt for a multidisciplinary university, whilst you are sort of confined within your subject area, whatever that is, there will be natural influences coming from the other faculties and subjects, which really sort of forms not to sound maybe too high on the expectation, but as close to 360 degrees of a vision on that topic as possible. So really look into the subject, really look into the program of each university, and look into the curriculum and see if it speaks out to you and if it excites you. And then obviously we're there to develop into detail any aspect.
Cool. And very quickly, before I pass on to Marina, Aisha, we got here just to confirm that you do offer programs in psychology as well, because we have someone asking for that, and more specifically the entry requirements, but we'll get to the application parts and more technical parts a bit later. But also a quick question about if you offer tourism and hospitality as well.
Right. So yes, psychology, but if you're going to do it in English, only at undergrad level. And I don't want to be saying something wrong, but in terms of tourism, in Italy, out of all the universities that I know of, it's extremely rare to find a program in tourism, which I personally agree is a paradox, considering it is a leading tourist destination. But alas, not my choice to make. But no, we don't offer tourism. However, what I can advise you is, if you are struggling to find courses in tourism, is opt for programs that can then help you specialize afterwards. So management skills or marketing skills that you can then obviously go and then specialize in a program, maybe at master's level for tourism. And you'll find plenty of those in the universities present today as the non-present ones.
But Marina, the reason why you guys don't offer hospitality is because Italians are already born like that, and welcoming people, that welcomes everybody. So that's why you don't need to study that. It's on your gene already. But Marina, now getting back to you. Yes, exactly. Best way to learn it. So now I wanted to ask you about like the programs offered, because different from those two universities who are offer like a super wide range, Polimi is very focused, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about the programs?
Right. That's right. Politecnico di Milano is a technical university. So we offer programs of architecture, design, and engineering. Take a look at the subject rankings and you will see that QS, according to QS, our design school is ranked 5th worldwide, architecture 10th best worldwide, and engineering 20th world best. So a limited choice maybe if you consider more than 40 Master of Science programs taught in English, a narrow choice. But anyway, it's definitely a technical university. So as I told before, research is very important. We have 12 departments devoted to research and 4 faculties, so 4 schools devoted to education. The School of Design has got 7 programs covering all the kinds of design you would think of, from design and engineering, product service system design, design for the fashion system, communication design, interior and spatial design, product service system design, and all the digital and interaction design, which is increasingly important. We have a wonderful design campus where all year long you have events going on. And Milan, as such a city, is the capital of design. Just think that when we have the Design Week in Milan, we have installation everywhere in the city, and we have all the major designers from all over the world coming here. So it is fundamental that you choose the right place for you to study, the place where you can make an immersive experience, not only on campus, but also outside. Also for architecture, Milan is a wonderful place to study. And not only Milan, we also have other campuses in surrounding city. And in each town where we have a campus, there is a particular focus. For architecture, of course, we have everything in Milan, but also sustainable architecture taught on the Piacenza campus, that is a campus focusing on sustainability, for instance. Or we have architectural design and history in Mantova. Mantova is a wonderful town with a huge historical heritage. It's a UNESCO seat, actually. And there we have architectural design and history, that is a program of architecture focusing on the preservation of historical buildings. Then we have any possible architecture programs here in Milan. As I told you, of course, environmental issues are always present, but whether you are more interested in architecture of interiors or building architecture, there are specific and different programs. We also have urban planning. We also have a landscape architecture. And in case you're interested in management, but you have an architectural or civil engineering background, there is management of built environment. The other important school we have is the School of Civil, Environmental and Land Management Engineering. And here we have civil engineering for risk mitigation. And this program is taught at the wonderful Lake of Como, where you may have fragile territories connected with the mountains that are so close, and with the lake with possible floods. So it's very interesting to study civil engineering for risk mitigation in such an environment. Very nice place to make excursion in the Alps, by the way.
No, definitely.
Yes, the Alps are just wonderful. Just come to Italy at least to visit the Alps, because they're just an experience, an extraordinary experience. In this school, we also have geoinformatics engineering. As we told before, environmental issues are so important, and it is important to take care of our Earth. So if you are fond of data, you love informatics, you can use informatics to take care of the huge amount of data coming from satellites to monitor the state of health of our planet, for instance. And then there is, of course, environmental engineering, which is also very, very important and popular in this period. Then we have the other school, which is the School of Industrial and Information Engineering. And here we have really a huge amount of different subjects. You can study all possible engineering. So from, for instance, space and aeronautical engineering, mechanical engineering, automation engineering. You can study biomedical engineering, bioinformatics for computational genomics, or computer science and engineering, and all the programs connected with informatics. For instance, music and acoustic engineering. It used to be a track of computer science, and now it is a special programs for signal and processing. We have energy engineering, nuclear engineering, telecommunication engineering. We have now the food supply chain. So we have a brand new program, agricultural engineering. Yes, because the supply of food is so important. It is fundamental, but we have to bring technology, also better crops, to produce in a sustainable and good way. So we bring technology to improve the way you crop. And this is a program that is in partly taught as a joint degree together with the Universita Cattolica. So we cover all the parts connected with technology, and they cover the courses that are linked to, for instance, biological and animals and more agricultural aspects.
But Marina, sorry to interrupt you, because we need to keep things going, otherwise we won't have time. But if you want, you can list. You can pass the link here. We'll pass the link with all the programs. But yes. Yeah, so we still have lots of topics to approach, guys. So if you can, let's try to keep it a bit more quicker. But yeah, so the next thing I wanted to ask you is to approach the student experience, and that involves some areas, right? So, for example, the teaching style. What can a student expect from your institution? It's going to be very hands-on. It's going to be more research based. How is the programs being? And what else? What are the unusual or the extra things that they can expect to experience throughout their studies? For example, any kind of examples that you can give us, basically. What makes your institution unique here? So please, I'll start this one with you, Aisha.
All right. So as usually when you talk to admission officers or anyone from universities, most of the times you'll get the answer, which is, it depends on the program. And it's not a way to not reply. It's that it truly, really can depend on the program. I'll give you a practical example, talking about practical. Obviously, if you're going to do something like medicine, right, there's going to be a residency aspect. There's going to be, obviously, you going into a hospital and implementing it, okay? if you're going to do something quite theoretical, I don't know, a humanities related subject, okay? And also there is a difference between bachelor's and postgraduate, but trying to keep it general. Generally, I did a British education, so I can compare it, for example, to the Italian one. The Italian higher education tends to have a lot of focus on theory. I mean, there's no escaping this, and theory is important. It may sound boring, but it's not. It is essential as a fundamental. Otherwise, you don't become a master's of anything. You don't become a graduate of anything. However, nowadays, it's obviously impossible to ignore the practical aspect, right? Because employers want to see your CV, and it's not enough to just have studied, no matter how good the studying is. That is why most programs will have an internship aspect. So it's impossible to ask you to go and do a full-time job. You wouldn't be a student. But if we do have practical elements, even when the program is not necessarily, again, taking the example of medicine, a practical related program. So on a humanities subject and a management aspect, that's there. The other thing is, there are two types of postgrad programs in Italy generally, so not just at my university. And that's a 2-year Master's of Science, which will by nature be more theoretical. There is a thesis. It's very academically challenging. And then there is a 1-year specializing Master's. These have a bigger focus on practicality. So there is a determined amount of months of studying, and then there is an internship or a field project. So teaching style in general, big on theory, but I would say none of our universities, the ones present at least, have the audacity to forget about the practical aspect. And certainly Cattolica, again, relating back to the employability, relating back to the territory, to the field, to the connections to the job, we will ensure, and especially if you are proactive, no one can force you, but if you're proactive, you will have the practical element that you feel you need to have a complete experience in that subject.
Very nice. And before I bring Padova to this, I want to give you back to Polimi, because this is a Politecnical University, might be a bit different, but can you tell us a little bit about what can the students expect, the extra things that they will be able to go through during their programs?
I think the Italian touch is that we do not provide bare numbers. So it's a technical university, but still based in Italy. So we want to reach high quality education, but without forgetting the human being. So, which means it will be very challenging. From a theoretical viewpoint, it is demanding because we want to be sure that students really have the right background from a theoretical point of view. But at the same time, there are also teaching labs where they will work on with their hands, of course. And then there is the thesis. The thesis will be an important opportunity where they will be able to carry out research for the first time, of course, with the support of the professors, of PhD students, and so on. Let me explain the difference between specializing masters, as Aisha said, and Master of Science. A Master of Science lasts 2 years, and it gives you an acknowledged university degree that is valid to enter PhD. So at our university, we have also 19 different PhD programs, and to enter, you need to have a Master of Science degree. If you want to study a specializing master, all right, you will study for a shorter period of time. They are not so wide in scope. They tend to specialize a lot and to prepare you well for a very specific job. For instance, we do have a specializing master in light design. You will know everything about light design, but if you want to work in another field, it will be a problem. A Master of Science will prepare you well for a wider opportunities of employment and you will also have a university, an acknowledged university degree. So we have made a lot of experience this final year, a difficult year for everyone. Last year, at the beginning of March, within 1 week, we had to shift all the in-presence lessons to online. Our students could continue with their studies and could graduate without any delay. So this has been a huge challenge for everyone. But in the meantime, we have learned a lot. And so we are not going back to the normal way studies used to be. For instance, we have learned that having lessons also online gives the opportunity of listening to the lessons again if they wish to. Or students who are present still in their countries, and maybe there are still travel bans in their countries, they can follow lessons at the right time for them without having to get up in the night to follow a lesson. So we will not go back to the previous experience, but we are aware that studying on campus is an awesome, a wonderful experience because of the relations that you have to the other schoolmates and to the professors. So you learn by doing, and you learn also through the experience of other people surrounding you. So we will have a mixture of in-presence lessons in laboratories, some front desk lessons still taught online, and also flipped classrooms. We have very important alliances to the leading technical schools in Europe. So our dream is within the next few years to have a European campus. We always have visiting professors with these alliances we have with other technical schools in Europe. But in the near future, we will have a European campus where a student studying in Milan will be able, for instance, to attend a program taught at HEH in Zurich and another one at Chalmers in, So it's very important to know that you will have a huge amount of possibilities at Politecnico of exchanges with our research partners and the opportunity of broadening your knowledge, because we constantly have our professors teaching abroad and visiting professors teaching here. In addition, as I told you, the Italian touch, we are aware that it is not only important to have technical knowledge. It's important to widen your knowledge as a person, to grow as a person. So in the last 3 years, we have offered our students free of charge more than 220 courses free of charge to enhance some social skills and also soft skills, for instance, being able of speaking in public, of working in team, techniques for rapid memorization of concepts, the focus on sustainability that must be present throughout all the subjects we teach. So just to tell you that there is a huge experience that you can make on campus. We always organize events on campus, both for our students free of charge and for the city. So every day, many opportunities of doing much more than what is related to your particular program. You can really make an all-round experience to grow in culture, in understanding of different cultures, because we have more than 7,000 international students coming from 120 different countries. So probably you will be carrying out your thesis with other international students, having a different mentality and a different approach to problems. And
But
in
oh,
this,
Marina, I have to give it enough time for the others as well, guys.
I have to pass it. Sorry.
Uh, yeah, it's okay. Moving on to Padova now, if you can tell us a little bit about like what students can expect from their experience they're gonna have there.
Sure. Aisha and Marina already covered some of the topics. Of course, we have some programs that I'm thinking about forest science. Forest science students are always out on fieldwork in Italy and in Europe as well. So there are some programs that are really focused on the practical side. Others, especially mainly at the bachelor's level, especially from our School of Humanities, a bit more theoretical. But again, as Marina mentioned, also the past year has provided us with new tools, and we are putting them into practice also from different angles. For instance, we started some virtual exchange programs, which is not only studying online, but it's based on the dynamic of groups studying and groups working. So we are really trying to innovate as much as we can. And what I think it's actually an added value that I wish was there when I did my master is the possibility of personalizing your curriculum, and this becomes particularly relevant at a master's level, where you can actually talk to your professor, set your goals, and create your study path according to your goals. You can pick elective courses from other programs inside the school. In some instances, you can even pick them from other school. As long as the curriculum that you are creating along with your professor makes sense, we are absolutely open, because as Aisha mentioned earlier, you go to university, of course, to learn, but because you have a goal in mind, whether it's research or career. You need to make sure that what you study can bring you to your final goal, to where you want to reach. And we are actually part of a European University Alliance. We are part of Arcus. I'm going to share the link with you in a minute. This is actually the future we all want for our universities in Europe, to be able to move freely and do a semester in Italy and maybe a semester in Spain, and have a free movement of knowledge of scholars, students, and professors, and to really bring it up to the next level.
Yeah, very very nice. It's similar to Erasmus, right? You can like have this experience of studying abroad while you're studying abroad.
Yeah, it's actually even, I mean, the concept is similar, but it really brings it up to the next level. It's universities, in this case, in the case of Arcus, it's 7 universities that work together to create a European inclusive universities with, same, even from an administrative point of view, with the same standards, to make it easy for the students to move from one to the other. And really, it's a very ambitious project. We were one of the first universities in Italy to become part of these European university, and I mean, our colleagues are really working hard, but it's definitely an enriching project for whoever becomes part of it, and our students are starting to see the benefits and the added value of it.
Very nice. Guys, usually we have time to approach 10 topics, but I'll have to finish here because we're already getting to the 1 hour after only 2. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give like some extra minutes here just to address some of the questions. So I'm going to address each of them. I'm going to pick one of them to each of you, but I do ask for you to keep it under a minute. It's just something very briefly so we can try to get more questions, right? And again, we're going to share the contact information with from Marina, from Aisha, from Camilla with you guys there. So yeah. So the first one here, it's specifically for you, Aisha. It's there's someone asking, what are the entry requirements for the psychology program?
All right. It depends what your program is, what your diploma is. You can imagine that a national, wherever you're from, diploma is different from an IB diploma and is different from an American diploma. Best advice I can give you is not knowing anything of where you're coming from is drop me an email or check the website. Generally speaking, though, there isn't a hard cut GPA. That's something that obviously students think about. There is a selection process involving an interview, all right? And there is also a specific motivation letter to write. So whilst obviously there's a case-by-case requirement that I'm happy to help you with the English, non-English, I can just give you a bigger picture. And you know you're going to have to write a specific motivation letter, and you're going to have to do a Skype or Teams interview.
Very nice. To you, Marina, we have a question coming from Sazidou Alam. He's asking, is it compulsory to learn Italian for the electrical engineering?
Not to start the program. All our programs are actually taught in English. So far, students could either study Italian or not. It was up to them. But actually, we have made the experience that about 50% of our international students fall in love with the country and want to remain in Italy afterwards. So if you want to practice as an engineer, as an architect, as a designer in Italy, of course, you need to study Italian. And also the fact that enjoying life, if you know the language, is important. From the next academic year, we will make it compulsory to attend our language courses. These do not actually belong to the study plan, because to study engineering, all the lessons will be in English. But to enjoy life outside the university and profit from all the occasions you have in Italy, that is useful. And also to stand for the state exam afterwards. So
nice. Now to you, Camilla, we have a question here coming from Emma. She's like, good evening. I'm interested in the English teaching medical programs of Italy. Is a medical degree from this program recognized and valid in the US?
Okay, well, the medical degree, it's an English taught program, and definitely it's recognized internationally. We're talking about an habilitation, about a medical profession, so it's always actually worth it to check with the country where you want to operate, rather than the university. So my advice to you would be to get a little bit research in the US and see what are the requirements. Of course, the purpose of a medical program in English is for you to be able to work abroad, but in some instances you may be requested to do an extra specialization or a residency program where you actually want to work as a doctor.
All right. Aisha, we have another question coming from Alejandra here. She's saying, I would like to apply for a master's, but currently I'm coursing in a specialization. What do you recommend? When should I start applying to the master's?
All right. Well, Alejandra, you mentioned master's and you mentioned specialization. So I'm not 100% clear what you mean by specialization, because I would have interpreted that as a master's. Fact is, there is only one intake per program. You can apply for whatever postgraduate program in Cattolica in your final year or when you're done. So if you are currently studying, whether that's already a master's or a bachelor's, and you want to start, for example, depending on the program, say September 2022, you can obviously get in touch with me. I will send you the application dates, but you want to start getting the ball rolling from December, at least for Cattolica, from December onwards. But yeah, you can always apply when you are about to finish or in your last year.
Very nice. Marina, we have Natalia from Brazil asking if is there funding for doctoral programs. Do you guys offer doctoral programs? And if yes,
we do.
Okay.
We have 19 PhD programs. There are no tuition fees, and most students are actually admitted with a scholarship. There is also the possibility, if you address the professors who work in laboratories close to your field, that they might have some interest, some vacant position in their research field. And so you might be paid as fellow researcher while you attend the PhD. So definitely apply to the PhD, but at the same time, do contact also the professors. In this way, you have two possibilities of funding.
Very nice. Aisha, question here coming for you. Have a scholarship for international students that would like to apply for medicine?
All right. Well, here's a big bomb I'm going to drop for everyone. Scholarships in Cattolica, because we're a private university, and private means having services, and services need a backup, a funding backup. So our scholarships tend to be there. They are partial. There is no full scholarship. Medicine specifically, you've gone to pick sort of the cream of the crop in terms of exclusivity and price, as all medical programs tend to be more expensive than the others. So there is no scholarship. There's no merit-based scholarship for those programs. And as I always recommend, whatever university you're going to look into, make sure you have the money just in case. Don't make the move. You don't want to quit halfway. So definitely look at the budget, do your research properly. In general, Italy has a financial aid scheme that is means tested. And then, of course, every university applies it in a different manner for different programs. Just a word of warning, it's limited, and you won't know the result until you start. So again, if you want to avoid having to leave halfway or go into a financial heart attack moment halfway through your year, definitely do the research and be very honest with yourself and obviously your family, and have a look if you can actually sustain not just the tuition fees but the living costs. And I hopefully speak for everyone to say the living costs in Italy, of course, each city is different, but we say that an average intelligent estimate about living costs is 10 to 12,000 euros a year. So whatever your tuition fee of the university is, then also add living costs as well.
Very well. And now the last one to you, Camilla, is coming from Beatrice Pain. She's interested in PhD in English language or related programs.
Yes, actually, again, our offer is quite broad at a PhD level as well. We have both PhD in Italian and in English, and some of them are actually a combined program, so taught in two languages. I'm going to share with you the link in a minute. There is actually a dedicated PhD office that is responsible for the offer at PhD level, because it's quite rich. I'm going to put the link in the chat for you in a minute.
Cool, very well. All right, guys, that was it. I know there are still lots more to talk about. Like we didn't cover broadly like scholarships, application processes, all that. But the good news here is that we're gonna put now on the screen here. Let's start with the contact information here. This one is from Unicat, so Universita Cattolica, Sacro Cuore, so international.inquiry at unicat with .it. We also going to put here on the chat. So if you want to know more or get more information or dig deeper on studying at Cattolica, this is the contact information. Now let's move on to the next one, please. We're also going to put here now, yeah, that's Università di Padova, international.admission@unipd.it. We're also going to put that on the chat here. So if you want to get to know more about University of Padova, you can get in touch with Camilla and her team through that email. And last but not least, Marina's, but this is the contact us link for Polimi. So www.polimi.it/contact us. All right. So if you want to get more information on Polimi, Politecnico di Milano, you can just reach that website. We're also going to put the link here on the chat. All right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So Marina, Natalia is saying thanks. This is the one that was interested in the doctoral program. Guys, thank you so much for joining. The last question I wanted to ask you is what makes your institution unique in one sentence? Or actually, why your institution in one sentence? Really, one sentence. So I'll start that one with you, Marina. Why Politecnico di Milano in one sentence?
Top quality education at affordable prices, because we are a state university.
Nailed it. Top quality education at affordable prices. Now with you, Camila, because I see that Aisha is still like thinking. So
that's a challenge. That's a challenge.
Why choosing University of Padova in one sentence?
Because we have actually been recognized as the best university in Italy for teaching and research quality.
Very well. And now, last but not least, why, Aisha? Why choosing Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore?
Because we try really hard to get dedicated international student services and are very, very employability driven.
Very nice. All right, then. It was a pleasure to have the three of you here today. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you back in another episode of the Student World Lives in the future. And I'm hoping that many of these over 80 people that watched us here today, they will get in touch with you. They will keep pursuing their education. And yes, you can count on the Student World to keep, promoting your schools here. All right.
Stay safe,
Thank
everyone.
you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Very well, everyone. And for those of you that watched us until now, thank you so much. We have right now over 30 people watching us. Today, we showed to you 3 great universities and why you should consider Italy, right? We are always see Italy with the eyes of the tourism and all the attractions, but it is a study destination as well that should be considered. We saw here that it offers a great combination between high quality education, a student life balance, as well as great, very competitive prices as well. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed, guys. Please give us a like if you like what you saw today. And yeah, again, thank you so much for all of you. Again, you can count on the Student World to be your buddy, helping you and supporting you throughout the whole planning on studying abroad. If you want to see any specific university on our next episodes, you can send a DM on our Instagram, a direct message to us at the Student World. If you're not following us yet, by the way, you can join our community there on Instagram. We're always posting things to news related to study abroad, opportunities, programs, lots of things. All right. Maha, thank you so much for joining us here today. I love when I see familiar faces, or in this case, familiar users' names joining us here. Milagros Aguilar, thank you also to you. Natalia, thank you for joining us. Felicia as well. And to everybody else that stayed with us, I hope you have enjoyed. And I'll see you back here next week with another episode of the Student World Prime Choices. Next Wednesday, 5 p.m. UTC. What time that is? 1 hour and 10 minutes before now. All right. Okay, guys, enjoy, and I'll see you next time. The student world, whatever you want to study, we know how to get you there.